Well, hello you guys. As I hinted at in my last video, yes, the Civic is indeed back. Yeah, it is officially fixed. Its original transmission was fixed and reinstalled. So the following videos are, as things went along, I'll be inserting them in to enhance the story. But officially it's back, and officially I'm driving it so that I can refocus on some of the maintenance items that have come up with the View since it's been driving. You'll get to see those videos bit by bit coming up and coming out. But basically our story starts back on a snowy day in Georgia back in January. Noise just comes and goes. Coming from the transmission. That is so bizarre. Yeah, that's how it all started. That odd little noise I would notice coming off and on while I was driving. I honestly thought it was something that was hitting from the motor mounts, because I have the energy suspension motor mounts that insert into your original motor mounts, because these cars are horrible about destroying mounts. So I wanted the energy suspension to maybe increase their longevity. So I had made plans to meet up with the mechanic and discuss the noises, as well as discuss the rear bumper from the accident and get a better appraisal from him, because I felt the original appraisal was a little short-sighted. It was done in the rain, and they wouldn't even bring the car inside, and they wouldn't wipe it off, and they wouldn't really look at it. And yeah, she was very dismissive, and I've seen the quality of the paint jobs that come out of that shop, and I wasn't having it. So I was going to take it to him. That was the plan all along. Well, we had the bad snow, and I did not want to put the View out there due to the reputation these vehicles have for their frames rotting out. Last thing I wanted to do is introduce anything extra that could cause rust and end this guy's life prematurely. So the Civic was the choice for driving, because they don't typically rust out like that. So I felt I'd have a better chance of keeping it in good shape. So I drove it the first day we were allowed to go back out on the streets and go to work. And first was fine. Second was fine. I went into third and it was acting a little funky. Went into fourth, all was good. I was in fifth. It popped out of fifth. And then it just wouldn't do anything. So I pulled over on the in a parking lot and was going to turn around. And then it acted fine, like nothing was wrong. So I just thought, okay, maybe I just did something stupid with the clutch and it's in my head, I don't know. So I went ahead and decided, okay, I'll go up a little bit further. Well, that's when it started popping out of third. And again, fourth seemed fine, which is pretty much all I drove it in going on the highway before I got to the interstate. But fifth was completely blocked. I flat could not get into fifth. So I was like, okay, well, it's just fifth. And third's just popping out. Not a big deal. It's probably just, a synchro or something. I think that's what they call it, synchros. Because my Del Sol does that in second. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I can make it work. Well, third eventually went completely to the point where if you put it in third, it immediately popped out. So I was down to first, second, and fourth, which in bumper-to-bumper traffic is not really catastrophic, and the road was light traffic, so I went ahead and took it and got to work, and then went to leave that night and noticed there was a bunch of fluid on the ground, which it did not have the day before in the garage, because, you know, I was back and forth in the snow taking pictures, and it never leaked anything, any fluids. I had limped it home from work and was able to maintain first, second, and fourth, but second did start to get a little weird about wanting to pop out. All right. Oh, here's what's going on under the car. That's where it's leaking. Right there. You can see it's all over. It splashed all the way back there. And it was not leaking when I left to go to work. It's all over the brace. Look at it, all over the ground. That's all from here. At the joint there. And of course, everything moves around as you're driving. Looks like there's some at that joint too. Oh, so all I can think is this bell housing is officially filled up. Maybe the front seal went out. I don't know. But when I got to work, it was just all nasty and dripping out. And like I said, when I left for work, there was nothing. And I've lost third gear, fifth gear, and it's popping out of second occasionally. I don't see anything that hit it that injured it. Seeing as how it's at that front joint, that's all I can think is the front seal and the transmission. And the engine oil level is fine, so it's not that leaking out. It's too dang dark. I just checked the oil and I just changed the oil, so it's fresh and clean. You can see it was dripping as I was driving in and parking it. So all I know to do is open the fill plug and see how low is it and top it off and take it over to Mr. Ritchie so I can at least get it there and back. So that's what's going on with that. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. It's just all over. Okay. Well, after the Civic lost all that fluid, I decided on the way home from work, I'd go ahead and pick up some genuine transmission fluid from Honda, figuring maybe the fluid loss was the problem. And yeah, just added a partial bottle, and that's all it would take, and it was spilling over. Yeah, it didn't make any bit of difference. The thing's still doing it. So I was hoping it was going to be a fluid situation, and maybe it was just a seal that needed to be fixed, and then I'd be good to go, but no. So I guess we're going to be going to the mechanic with it for a transmission potentially rebuild. Maybe it's something in the clutch. Maybe there's a throwout bearing. I don't know enough about these things. One odd thing I noticed when I was driving in the gears that I did have, if I would let off the gas, in other words, when I was on the gas, the shifter was seeming pretty solid in first, second, and fourth, but especially in fourth, if I would like start to slow down because cars were in front of me and I needed to just coast, the shifter would hop back and forth. So I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that means, but it was just an odd little thing that I noticed. So just thought I'd throw that out there. That was a weird little quirk. And as you can see from that video that night where I was discussing it, it didn't make a darn bit of difference. So I took it to the mechanic, and it ended up, when we went and put it on the ramps to inspect it, it got stuck in reverse, so it just stayed with him. He was able to get it out of reverse, but it was not okay. On the way to the mechanic to have him look at the car regarding the issues from the accident. Here we go in first, second, fourth. Okay, we're all right. I had cars behind me, or I would have shown you what it does in third. I don't want to piss it off too much. That's all we got. I'm gonna try and go to fifth. I can't even get it in fifth. Coasting. See the jerk? Sorry, my hand. There it is. And now I have an airbag light. Well, anyway, it's neither here nor there. Out of the blue. And as I'm driving, the airbag light simply went away. I have no idea what's going on right now. Not a clue. But look how salty the cars are. Ew. Okay, just cruising. And I get off, and we're just coasting. Come on. And I coast. And it's got all new mounts, so it's not mounts. So isn't that fun? Alright, his shop is just up the way. Let's see if I can let y'all see third. Neutral. What third? You see it? Yeah. I got first, second, third, fourth. It doesn't want to even be fifth. We still got reverse, but it's like fifth is just decimated. Won't even go into it. Alright, I'll check back in later. Well, this is fun. Stuck in reverse. We had to pull the bumper for the inspection. Now it won't come out of reverse. It just keeps getting better and better. So knowing I had to leave it with him after all that was going on, I took it, its original transmission, which I believe I discussed in the video where I was talking about it when I bought it. Anyway, the LX's transmission had been put into this car. This is an EX. And it was working just fine, you know, until now, then, whatever, when it catastrophically failed. So I had put the EX transmission back up in the attic to eventually rebuild when it was time to put a clutch in it. Well, obviously it wasn't that time yet, but so be it. I took it up to EV Tech. They rebuilt it. I picked it up and brought it back. As your back says, holy shit. Okay, that's it. Okay. He's going to tear it apart and find out exactly what it needs and then update us on the price. The 700 was kind of like just a rebuild kit, but hopefully it hasn't hurt any gearing, because I told him, I said, I don't know its history. I bought the car like that. So you never know. He said, I said, do you need anything written down on there so you know who I am and whatnot? He said, we literally never get these transmissions. So. He says, I'll know it's yours. It's not a big deal. Let's go get it.
Why? Because the car is so old?
No, people just don't. It's an Econobox car. Nobody invests money in them. All right, there's the rebuilt transmission. So we'll find out what's wrong with the other one when this one goes in. So the saga continues. Then I took the original transmission, now rebuilt, over to the mechanic and dropped it off. And then all kind of crap happened. And now we're here. It's installed. We're good. Everything's fine. I think there may need to be a little bit of tweaking done. I know there's some bushings and sleeves and stuff that work inside that shifter assembly. That may be what's going on. But we're back. We're driving. We're good. And I have air conditioning. Yay, because the View has to go and have that dealt with. Its air conditioning has been out. So this is the LX's transmission that died catastrophically and was leaking and all kind of stuff. I've never taken these apart. Supposedly you can. And they're not too terribly difficult with the right videos. So maybe if you guys want me to, y'all need to, weigh in, drop a comment, kind of boost this video up and let me know what you think. Let's get some opinions. Do you guys want me to attempt to take this sucker apart and find out what's going on inside? At least let y'all see the carnage. Yeah, let me know. If I get enough of you guys that say you want to see it, I'll do it. So this is how we learn. So yeah, I'll totally look inside and do a little bit of learning. But yeah, the mechanic thinks maybe this this seal was where we were getting the fluid from. But he said the clutch was fine. He didn't have to swap it out, which is what I was concerned about, that fluid had gone and screwed up the clutch. But we're okay. So that's the story. And now it's home. So you'll be seeing more videos of stuff with it. So I don't know if you Saturn folks want to see Honda stuff, but you're welcome to watch. I mean, this is why I saved the View, is because of these guys, the Civic and the Del Sol. So, and I've got to get working on that Del Sol too. But anyway, that's the story. Tried to keep it relatively concise, but I'm not really good at that. Yeah, so we're shifting good. We're good. All right. But yeah, please let me know. Weigh in. Tell me. And anybody have y'all had symptoms like this in a manual transmission, especially in a Honda? What was it? What happened that, you had third immediately pop out and you were completely locked out of fifth and completely locked out of reverse? I mean, it was like those gears didn't exist. There was a wall. I could not physically do anything. Third was basically like neutral at the end. And like I said, it was trying a little bit to pop out a second. So I think it was just cascading. But yeah, let me know. And please, subscribe, like the content. That tells the algorithm that, hey, more people need to see this. Maybe this video will help somebody else recognize symptoms before it's catastrophic when they hear the noise that the transmission was making. Maybe they can go, oh crap, alert, alert, danger. That noise means. That's how I learn. And maybe they can get it to the shop before theirs does what mine did and it can be salvaged. So, yeah. Okay. That's my rant. That's my story. That's what happened. Now you know. All right, y'all. Take care. Have a good night.